So who is the best healer in Triangle Strategy? In this video, we are going to be going over who is the best healer, essentially. So I'm going to go over their stats. In this case, I have 9 questions I'm going to answer as to who is the best. So these questions are: how much can they heal for? Do they have options for healing? How far can they heal? Do they have TP management? Can they remove conditions? It factor / special standout abilities. Can they do anything aside from heal? How durable under fire are they? And do they have mitigation? So those are the 9 questions we will be going over and then rating each unit. So to begin, we're going to go over the stats. So you can see here we have Medina, Cordelia, Narv, Gila, Giovanna, Time Child, and Hasabara. I don't know why I always call Quahog Time Child, but it's like, for some reason, it's like the way I name him. Alright, so for stats, what we're looking for on a healer is health and durability. The rest we don't really care about. Movement is also good, so I guess health, durability, movement. So if we're looking at Medina, she has 6 move, 3 jump, which is better than like most units. Most units have 2 jump. She has 50s for defenses. She does have a bracelet on, and she has an HP bracelet, so she's plus 50 HP. So she's like 460 health, 50 defense, 54 magical defense with good move. So that's pretty good. We have Time Child. He actually does have 3 jump and 5 move if you fully upgrade him. So he would have similar move to Medina. His physical defense is low. His magical defense is decent. His health is on the lower side. And then we have Giovanna. She has really good defensive stats, really good jump, really good move. Her heal is very conditional, but we'll get to that. And then we have Gila, whatever you want to say. I play with the audio off, so that's why I actually haven't heard her name pronounced, because I'm always recording from my Switch in OBS. So I actually have no idea. Like, I could watch a video, but alright. Anyways, alright, she has 3 jump, 4 move, so she has kind of like lower movement, but at least she has 3 jump. 40 physical defense is okay. 55 magic defense is decent. 450 of base health is fine. It's also kind of low. Cordelia, 415 base health, and then 40s, like mid and then upper mid 40s for her defense. 2 jump, 4 move, and this is with like full upgrades too. Okay. Then we have Hasabara, 6 move, kind of 40s in defenses, like 500 health, 2 jump. She's on a horse, so. We have Narv, 2 jump, 4 move, like 33 physical defense, which is okay. Decent magic defense. So in terms of just like mobility and movement, or mobility and defenses, it probably goes to Medina, but this isn't like a category. Like, we are going to look at durability, so we'll get into that. Alright, now what I'm going to do is retreat from here so I can actually organize them. Because right now, I'm actually in a battle, so we're going to... Alright, so how much can they heal for? So this is going to be an easy one as to who gets this. So, okay. Unit placement. Alright, so how much can they heal for? So to begin, let's start with the units that aren't that good at healing. Let's start with Giovanna. So Giovanna's heal... Hold on, I have to turn off an alarm. Alright, so Giovanna's heal is the weakest heal out of everyone's, I would say. Splash, first of all, you need to be in water, so you need to either have a pond, a puddle, whatever, any type of water. So like if the map doesn't have water, you have to create your own, which is annoying. It costs 2 TP, it doesn't even heal for that much. So she has the worst healing out of all these units, by far. So she's the last for this category. Then I would say probably is Narv. 124 magnitude sanctuary. This is decent, but like this is more usable. At least it hits multiple allies. It's a decent amount of health. He also has Mystic Beam, but I would say Narv is like second for healing. And then we have Hasabara. She has Be Brave, which can be boosted. So this can be a little bit better. It doesn't have range though, so I'd say like her and Narv are like on a similar category. Narv does have Mystic Beam, so that'd probably put him a little bit higher than her. So she's probably like second last. For actual healing, Quahog can kind of heal in a way. If you use him optimally, he can be one of the best healers in the game. But if you don't, like if you miss a turn, if a turn expires in between a unit took damage, like if a unit's at full health, takes damage, say it's at low health, and then another, like Quahog doesn't reverse time it, and then one of his turns passes, you can't reverse time it from there, turn back time. So he can essentially spike heal and remove all conditions from a single unit or your entire team, which is very good, and also reset TP. But if you miss the opportunity for him to heal, or if he just reverse times like one ally and then there's another one who took damage, he can't just like actually heal it. So he doesn't heal necessarily, he like reverses time. So it's not as flexible and reliable for healing as a normal healer. But if you abuse reverse space time, it can be, because you can just keep reversing everything. So I guess it depends on the build for Quahog, but he can heal for a lot. So he's probably going to be in like the top like 3. But we'll get to the actual healers now. All right, so Cordelia. She has huge heals, like in terms of just like raw healing magnitude. She has like some of the best. She's pretty good. Like she just has like huge, like she can just heal for a ton, like 250 for 2 TP, which is a lot. Healing regen. She has the like one of the bigger AoE heals. That's like way better than everyone else's. She has like probably the highest magnitude. Medina does have high magnitude if you double item. So, alright, so the way Medina works, she could be the best healer in the game if you just spam Panacea pellets, because Panacea pellets are a full heal and condition cleanse, but they're 4k each. So depending on how much you want to grind, like she could theoretically be the best healer. I don't think her range is as far as Cordelia though, but in terms of like magnitude, like if we're assuming like average items, like you'll probably be using like the 260 heal on her, so she's like kind of comparable to Cordelia, except she doesn't, her abilities cost money instead of TP. So I guess it depends on how much you're willing to grind for, but she can be just as good as Cordelia in some cases. She just costs more, like she just costs money. But if you spam Panacea pellets, then you know you have access to spike heals every turn with condition cleanse for 0 TP. And then if you double items that's like basically the best healing in the game. But there's more to it than that, so we're going to factor it in. So how much can they heal for? I would say it's probably tied between these two for just like raw healing. Quahog can essentially heal for any amount of health, but because his kit is like so circumstantial, where if you miss an opportunity to heal, like if a turn passes in between him like activating turn back time, like one of his turns passes, then he can't heal that unit. So he actually can't heal, he just resets a unit based on its previous turn, which can effectively be healing, and it can be really good, and it can break the game. But as far as like healing is concerned, it can be inconsistent. Unless you're using his broken build where you just spam reverse space time with like Julio or something, he's not that good of a healer for spot healing, because like once 2 or 3 things get hit and he doesn't reverse space time, he can't heal them. So that is a factor for him being a good healer. But with the broken build, he's theoretically one of the better healers. Okay. So for raw magnitude, I would say it's a tie between Cordelia and Medina, just because of their like Medina has to pay to out heal Cordelia, but on average it's probably really similar if you're using like medium cost items like the large health pellets and the extra large health pellets, because those can heal for like I think 260 on Medina, which is comparable to like a basic heal. So every turn if Cordelia doesn't move, she gets an extra TP, so she can heal from pretty good range. So she can heal for 250 each turn, and I think it gets boosted a bit. And then Medina can heal for roughly the same, but it just costs you money. So I would say honestly it goes to Cordelia. Now you can spam Panacea pellets, but like spamming 4k items is not very, it's not something you would do, to be honest. It's very, even if you were to farm for those, like you can't buy enough of them to spam them every mission. So like it's not something you can always do. It's not even really necessary. It's an option, but I would say Cordelia gets the magnitude. And then if we look at Gila over here, Cure Wounds is good. And she has like Sanctuary, which is decent. And then Mend Wounds is decent. It's like a spike heal. But it costs 3 TP. And she can't generate TP. So every turn Cordelia can use heal, which hits for, you know, a good amount. And then she can spike heal with Above and Beyond for 4. But she generates her own TP, so... Alright. Do they have options for healing? So we can already... Oh, let me organize these guys. Alright, so for options, let me put these dudes over here. Alright. It's like 3 women, or 2 women and a guy. These dudes. Alright, so for options for healing, these don't have options. These only have 1 heal. Hasabara does have her follow-up attack heal, which is okay. So I guess she has, like, more than these two. And then, like, Narv is definitely better than Giovanna for healing, because he can just Sanctuary when he wants to, whereas she needs to splash in water, which is not that good. So for options, I would say these are, like, dead last. For options for these, Medina has every pellet you can use. So Panacea, the AoE pellets. So she actually has a lot of options. Cordelia, she has a heal over time that can heal up to 400 health across 4 turns. Every time it's this ally's turn, they get healed. So this is great on tanks. This is 1 TP. She can spike heal every turn. She can spike AoE heal. She can chip heal things that are near her. She can convert her own health into health for an ally. So she can take like 200 damage, which is like half her health, and then restore 50% of their max health, which is pretty good. And then she also has Above and Beyond, which can increase max health temporarily, as long as that ally doesn't get hit. So I would say she has a lot of options. For Gila the Gila, she has a spot heal for 1. She can Sanctuary for AoE heal. She can spike heal, and she can put res on things. So I would say she has some pretty good options. For Quahog, he really just has reverse space time and then turn back time for healing. Now, obviously, reverse space time is one of the best skills in the game, and it's so broken that people make team comps around it, and it's really good. So, in a way, you could argue overall he's like the best healer in the game, but he's just like a straight up broken unit, and if you don't want to use a broken unit, then I'm gonna like reveal the actual best healer as time goes on through this video. I actually don't know what it is for sure yet. I just came up with these like categories to determine who the best healer is. So we will find out. I'm just trying to like evaluate things in real time. But essentially Quahog would be the best everything in the game. Well, like the best utility and the best healer, because he just completely resets everyone for 4. And as long as you have a Julio, he can just keep resetting everyone, which effectively heals them and resets their positions and all this other crap. So yeah. All right. Maybe I should just stop evaluating Quahog. I'll put him over here. He's just Time Child broken over here tier. He's like not technically a healer, but he can heal in a way. So, but he's probably the best healer in the game with reverse space time. But aside from that, let's look at units that aren't New Game Plus that you actually get to run. Okay, so options. So these two have options. Medina has options. So as to who has the best options for healing, they all have like spot heal for cheap. They all have single target spike. They all have medium heal. They all have like some big heal. Like you can use a Panacea pellet on Medina. You can overheal with Cordelia. You can res on Gila. So like they all have options. I would say this is a tie between all of them. So for how much can they heal for? I would say is like a tie between these two. So I'm actually just gonna write down like M/C for Medina and Cordelia, and then for options, I would say M/C/G. So I would say it's a tie between these, because honestly, they all have good healing options. They all have like strengths and weaknesses. Cordelia is the only unit that has a heal over time, which is useful because she gets 2 TP a turn when sitting still and has like better range than other healers. So she can heal. She can put this on like a flanker or a tank, and then they can still catch healing without like being out of range of a healer. So maybe she has slightly more options, but All right, how far can they heal? So, for this one, I'm pretty sure it just goes to Cordelia. I think she definitely has further range than Gila. And then Medina, let's see what her range is. Long toss, increase range by 3. Let me see. Her range is what, 6? Yeah, all these are 0 to 5, which is +1 range. And then let's look at like what an item's range is really quick. 0 to 1. So her range is 0 to 4. Okay, so it definitely goes to, oops. Do not cancel. It definitely goes to Cordelia here, because she just has 6 range. So, Cordelia. And then I think another one of her abilities that already has 6 range. Yeah, this actually has 7 range with her passive. So, all of her abilities have 1 to 6 or 1 to 6 or 1 to 7, and some have 0, so she can use them on herself. And oh yeah, she also heals out like allies next to her, which is nice. Okay. Do they have TP management? Medina, she does in a way, because she can hit herself while healing with pellets, but if she uses double items, she actually spends 1 TP. I mean, I guess that's not the worst thing. She spends 1 TP, she can heal, like, I think 120 twice, or it's like 120 or 160 for her large ranged pellet. So she does have management, but it's not as good as just like getting TP back for doing nothing. So she has to use items on herself or get hit by the AoE to get TP management. But the only two that have management are Cordelia and Medina. Gila just has cheap spells and no management. So TP management, I would say Medina and Cordelia. And then for the other units, healing range, Narv, Sanctuary, 0 to 4 with range +1, 0 to 5. Sanctuary can reach an extra tile, so an effective healing range of 0 to 6. He has a kind of weaker heal, but also you have to keep in mind that Cordelia's healing region is also an AoE, so this is actually a 0 to 7 because of the extra tiled reach. Hasabara's healing range is point blank, and then Giovanna's healing range is 0 to 6, which is decent, but the heal is weak and she needs to be in a puddle, which is annoying. If it was a better heal, I would see it being more useful, or if it just costs 1 TP. Can they remove conditions? None of these can remove conditions, so these just knocked out. Gila can remove conditions. Cordelia actually cannot at all. Well, she can use a healing. She can use an item to remove conditions, but her kit doesn't have condition removal at range. Gila is probably the best for this because she has heal what ails you. It just straight up removes conditions, which is pretty useful. And she does have 5 range. So this is at like a 0 to 5 range. So I would say this just goes to Gila. Medina can remove conditions too, but it's expensive. And she can't remove multiple conditions simultaneously. Panacea Pellet can do that, but I'm assuming you're not going to be using those because those are like... You can't even buy that many in each playthrough, so you can't rely on them. Like, you'd have to stockpile them throughout a few playthroughs to even run them full-time because they're very expensive and there's only like a few in the store at a time. So I would say this one goes to Gila, for sure. Alright. It Factor special standout abilities. Obviously, Medina's standout abilities are Celestial Salve for board healing, which is really good. Heal anyone at any range. And TP Physic combined with double items ranged pellets to hit multiple allies and restore battery. So for It Factor for Medina, it's the battery. The battery and the board heal. For Cordelia, it's the overhealing and just the fat heals and good range. For Gila, she has like cheaper spells and she has res, which is good. She can remove conditions. For Hasabara, she has some utility. She can throw things. She can push enemies off high ground. She has an AoE. She has trekking for TP. Desperate Defense, which actually is good. But she like for it factor for healing though, I don't think she has anything. Same thing with Narv and Giovanna. Their it factor, like these units, it factor is like versatility and damage, which isn't really relevant to being a healer. So I'm just gonna ignore them for this. I would say it's it's probably gonna be Medina for it factor because the battery is like insane. Like if I were only able to run one of these, it would probably be Medina. And the reason is she can heal and she can battery, and even while she's healing, she's also batterying. So like if I heal like a unit with like a large healing pellet or double items them or something to spike heal them, they're also getting TP back. It like these two can make units more durable, and they're better healers than Medina because they just cost TP, and Cordelia can generate a TP each turn, and res is good and overheal is good for mitigation and durability. But for just raw it factor, it's definitely Medina. Being able to battery is massive. She's one of the best units in the game for this reason. Okay, can they do anything aside from heal? So the difference between this and it factor is can they like perform a different function if they need to? And strangely enough, I already think I know who this goes to. And it might be surprising, but alright, so obviously these units are like damage dealers, or like damage dealers, some utilities and stuff like that. So they can perform other things, but their healing is so terrible, or so like lackluster, I would say they're off healers. So like we're really looking at primary healers. Like when I'm making these videos, I include some of their units. Like in the tank video, someone mentioned I could include Milo, and that's true. Milo is an evasion tank. She does have shutdown. But she's not like a main tank. Like I would say like the main tanks are just like Eridor and like Flanagan. Someone pointed out that Flanagan's like a bard. Like he like buffs allies, that's fair. But he also is tanky himself, so I'd argue he's like a team tank. He like makes your team tanky. So if you you want to call him a bard, he's a bard. If that bard just buffs allies, whatever, that's no argument there. But for the main healers, what can they do aside from heal? Not really much. These two can't, but Medina can. Medina can double items, like elemental stones for spike damage if she wants to. So out of the healers, she's the only one who can kind of break out. She also has decent strength. Like if you look at their strength, 32 strength, 32 strength. Medina can actually slap things for some chip damage, and it's actually relevant. And she has better movement, so she can set that up easier. So she can actually smack things. She can use Poison Pellet, which is okay against certain enemies. And she can double items and then spam items. Now, it's true these can spam items, but she can double items and, deal decent damage and smack with her dagger. So, of the main healers, like on this side, like the main actual healers, I would say doing things aside from heal goes to Medina. How durable under fire are they? So, this one, we're just straight up looking at defense and health. Let me remove these. Actually, I'll leave them on. I'll just do the math. Alright, so she has 50 physical defense and 460 health. Okay, so that's like her durability. And then Cordelia has 43 like physical defense, 48 magical defense, so slightly lower, and 415 health, so less health. Gila has 450 health. She has an HP bracelet, so I just did the math. 40 physical defense, 55 magical defense. Durability goes to Medina. She has more health, slightly more health than Gila, way more health than Cordelia. She has better defensive stats than both, aside from Gila's magical defense, which she has one less of, but she has more average defense. So her physical defense is higher. So for just durability, it goes to Medina. And she also has higher move, so that's actually quite good. So it definitely goes to Medina here. Do they have mitigation? So what is mitigation? Mitigation is either reducing damage or allowing an ally to tank. So in this case, this goes to Cordelia and Gila. Medina has no mitigation. She has no abilities that reduce damage an ally takes unless she uses like some spice that increases defense or something, but that's not really... That's like baby mitigation. That's like peanuts versus what these two can do. Like Cordelia's overheal can allow an ally. You can keep overhealing them. You can put like 2,000 health on a unit. That's ridiculous. Gila can give someone a get out of jail free card. So she can just give units extra lives and also prevent death for deathless runs. And then Cordelia can just straight up overheal things and make them extremely tanky. So both of these I would say are tied. Some people say res is better. Some people say overheal is better. There's arguments for both. I would say they're about as good as each other. First of all, they're both 4 TP, so that's already kind of equal footing. The other thing, too, is overhealing once on a single unit is essentially like giving them a single res. However, if an enemy deals 400, like let's say you have 800 health, right? Like you have 400, you get overhealed for 800. You take 800 damage and then you die. Great. All right, let's say you're using res versus that. You have 400 health, you take 380 damage, you're down to 20 health. An enemy boss hits you for like 300. It'll kill you, and then you'll reset with full health. So that 20 damage amount, like that 300 just gets reduced to 20 because that's all it takes to kill you. You cannot be dealt like more than lethal damage. Like when the res triggers, it always puts you at full. So you have effectively a little bit more health on average with a single use of res versus a single above and beyond. Now, if you have multiple above and beyonds on a unit, that's different. But when you're just using one, like if you're just putting res on a bunch of different units that you know are going to be getting hit, I would say that's slightly stronger. But above and beyond, if you're using it on like a tank and you just keep above and beyonding like an Eridor, and like you're just doing this so like in his off turns when he's not king shielding or something, he just has like 2,000 health, then above and beyond is better. But they're both good. You can run them both. I would say they're equal. They have slightly different use cases. One clearly isn't better than the other. So for 0.9, did they have mitigation? Cordelia/Gila. All right, so let's add up the winners. So for the tied categories, that'll just count as a point for both. All right, so for Medina, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories. For Cordelia, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories. And for Gila, we have 1, 2, 3. So I would say Medina is the overall best healer, but just barely. Like she's like her and Cordelia are like really close. I feel like these are good categories to determine like who the best healer is. I don't think that I'm like showing like favoritism or anything. Like it's just I'm just trying to be as objective as possible for like what does the healer actually do? Where does it stand out? What kind of heals does it have? How much does it heal for? What's its range? What's its TP management? Can it remove conditions? What can they do aside from heal? So I think this is pretty fair. I think Medina is the overall best healer in the game, and this is mostly a New Game Plus. She probably is still like one of the better healers, like on a fresh save. I know a lot of people cite the economy reason, but even if you just do like, I don't know, like an hour or two of grinding total, you can probably grind out enough money to run her full time with like good healing items on a fresh save. But between the two of them, Cordelia is probably like a better healer in general because of like economy, and Medina is generally used as a battery. So when you run Medina, you're usually using her as a battery, and then you'll have like one of these two. Like in my average team, I have a Medina always, and then I have a Cordelia or a Gila. And the reason for why I run one of the over the other is like just for fun. Like they're both as good as each other for the most part. That there's really no reason not to run one or the other. But I would say overall best healer Medina, very close second Cordelia, and then Gila is like a very close third. Like these are all very competitive. These are all very good units. For overall best healer in the game, if you're allowing broken mechanics, it's definitely Time Child. You just have Julio stand next to him and then keep recharging him. You just reverse space time, which heals your entire team and resets all of their TP, status effects, and everything. But this is assuming you want to run broken things. But like for actual practical play, it's just Medina, and then Cordelia, and Gila. For these units, for best healer, I would probably rate them like this. Like I'd say this is the order. Like Narv is like the 4th best healer. Sanctuary is just good. His increased range is good. He has 6 range with Sanctuary effectively. He also has Mystic Beam, which can be a good heal as well, that also damages. So he has 2 healing options. Hasabara can point blank heal for a decent amount, and she can trigger heals off of her follow-up attacks, which is decent. It's not as good as just being able to Sanctuary at range, but it's still good. And then Giovanna's heal is just terrible. It's just like, why? If it was an AoE heal and it did 150 and it was 2 TP, I'd say there's something to it, but it's just not good at all. Her kit is mostly built around damage and mobility, so she doesn't really want to heal things. But yeah, that is my best healer video type of thing. So let me know what you think. Definitely let me know if you would add other categories to determine who the better or best healer is. I think the categories I came up with are all like very relevant to a healer. They're not just like random. It's not just like how much damage do they do. It's like that doesn't matter. It's a healer. like it does for the question. Can they do anything else aside from heal? In which case Medina kind of can. Double items, spam elemental stones, plus smack things with higher base strength. But for all the other things, and the reason why that's useful is because if you don't need to heal, it can be useful to have Medina just like run up and attack something to trigger follow-up attack or to get a crit on an enemy to start chipping away at it. So that is useful. Like if an enemy boss is in your backline, having your healer being able to turn into like a medium damage single target attacker can help, and triggering follow-up attacks is useful. So that's why I bothered to mention that. But yeah, that's it for this video. Definitely like the video and subscribe. Also, if you want, drop some comments as to types of videos you would like to see. I'm still doing the hard mode playthrough series where I do like Deathless on a fresh save, and it also doubles as a hard mode guide. I'm doing the stats videos. I just did strength. I just did physical defense. So those 2 videos are made. And then I have magic attack, magic defense, luck, accuracy, speed, evasion. Jump and move will be easy because it's just like very basic as to like how it works, but I'll still explain them. And then I'll cover like ice affecting movement, stuff like that, puddles. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for checking it out, and I will see you in the next one.